Hello everyone and welcome. Today we'll be taking a look at a highlight best-of-5 series of professional StarCraft 2. Joining me here for map number 1, Ultra Love. Yes, the upper right corner in red on the red side of the map. Thank gosh, it is a Protoss player, MaxPax. And the Terran player landing here in the bottom left, wielding the blue SCVs. It is the Sword of Terran, Clem. Clem versus MaxPax. I know Clem, I quite like the title, the Sword of Terran, but we have to also consider MaxPax is a rather aggressive style Protoss, yes? I think we can all kind of agree with that sentiment. MaxPax, not one to shy away from any sort of aggressive ploy, timing, mid-game centric Protoss, if you will, so I think there has to be some semblance of title. Whoa. No? Alright. We're just dealing with a little shenanigans. I think there has to be some semblance of title for MaxPax to equate this. So we have the Sword of Terran, but Protoss, hear me out, the Blade, Psyblade specifically, you could say. The Blade of Protoss, the Blade of Ire, I'm not sure. We have to kind of work on it. It's a work in progress, okay? Just like the Probe. Damaged, slightly burdened with its great potential victory, yes. The Terran build, though, will be rather unfazed. The Reaper is the choice for Clem. This is, indeed, you're wondering, beautiful viewer, a Clem Reaper, yes. Heading across the other side of the map now will find its way into the base. What damage, if anything? Oh god, he goes for the Probe. The injured Probe. He gets it. That one Probe in particular, that one that was picking on the SCVs. Oh god, he's gonna get out too. The Reaper will survive. The Adept not able to catch, not able to keep up. The Reaper will stand yet this day. One Probe kill, I love it. Picking on that Probe in particular, you will pay for the lives, the damage that you did. Probe didn't actually get any kills, I will say, but still hurt the SCVs, made them feel quite self-conscious, quite upset with their existence. Clem gonna just head back into the base. Seeing the tech choice for the Protoss at this point, it is going to be a Stargate, and the choice from said Stargate is Phoenix. So all of you that were like, it's Oracle or bust, 0. What did the Widowmine fire at? I'm guessing the Adept. I'm guessing MaxPax did a good old Adept shade trick. Baited the Widowmine shot out, but did not actually get any connection. Reaper will be joined by a Hellion. Viking already on the way for Clem here. I'm assuming because we're seeing Phoenix. It kind of makes a bit of sense if you think about it. Oh, Clem will not be caught a second time. Widowmine unburrowing a bit. The rest of the Terran forces gunning it for this Adept. She might still be able to get away. It's gonna be close. Oh, not close enough, actually. 25 health still remaining. She is totally fine. The Hellions now might be able to give chase. But now there's another threat on the board. MaxPax has completed a couple of Phoenixes, Phoenixi, yes. Wonderful viewer, you are correct. All of the above, I am fine with. The choice also the follow-up Immortal. Not going to, I mean, it could still be a Phoenix Colossus style. That's what I would call as a standard, relatively normal setup and choice. The Phoenix give you a great option for harassment, of course, potential to kill off a few workers, but also to use the lift to pick off a few individual key units, things like siege tanks, widow mines, cyclones, all of them juicy, valuable targets that the Protoss is going to want to just take off the board. Because while it's lifted, while it's up there, the fear of heights, of course, something that all Terran units share and have to deal with. The Phoenix lift them up and the Terran unit just can no longer operate. Siege tanks don't fire. Cyclones are just spinning there like a tornado. Weird, I know, right? Phoenix head into the base. MaxPax decides to go for a few of the workers, increase that worker deficit that the Terran has to deal with. The Cyclone will be able to shoo them away. Almost gets one, too. Red health. What is this? The Widow Mine. Still over here. Clem. Burrows, the Widow Mine. But in a spot that it's not quite being revealed. The worker transfer, I think Clem could probably see that. I think the vision, yeah, okay. The vision was good. Well, Widow Mine will be found, will be spotted. One of the Phoenix, though, pays the price for that. And also going to find the army. One of them will be picked off, the Cyclone here. Siege tanks at the back. Everything is ready. Pieces falling into place. The Phoenix move in. One of the siege tanks immediately picked off. The other one picked up. The Protoss forces start to take out some of the Marines, but it's going to be a bit too much. Terran Clem holding strong for now. The evener of odds, though the Colossus, worlds shall be at war. Here, the siege tank is the first choice. The Vikings clean up said laser giraffe, will force most of the Protoss forces back. But without the siege tanks, Clem has lost his anchor. Terran probably not going to be able to get a bit much more of anything done, really. The siege tanks kind of anchor the spot, give a nice bit of breathing room for the rest of the Terran forces up against those ground units. What's the Phoenix count looking like? Reduced to 2. And MaxPax not really wanting to commit too much more. Outnumbered, of course, against the Vikings. I can understand that. The Vikings should be able to win most of those battles. The siege tank sets up shop, will take quite a few hit points off of that Stalker. The Phoenix, thus far, decorative in the bottom of the map. Don't you hate it when your decorations attack you? Yeah, I know. Oh god, but he flies them right back into the Terran army. The Vikings will reset that Phoenix count. Things looking not too shabby, I would say, around here. The Reaper, is this the OG Reaper? With 3-4 kills? I think so. Oh my gosh, it was the OG, the original Reaper, which means absolutely earning their namesake as a Clem Reaper. That Reaper walks away with 4 kills and quite a bit of scouting to boot. Not a bad exchange, I would say. Things looking to be rather fine. MaxPax here, trying to get more Colossus out. And add on Storm. Okay, both of these are great choices, but having to do them at the same time, meanwhile losing that first initial Colossus, right? Yeah. This is not going to look too great, I think. It's going to come down to a bit of the engagement. The Immortals are a decent durability force. Charge is completed for the Zealots. But Clem just decides to walk up the ramp. Oh no. There is a siege tank set up at the back. The Colossus pops out from the Robo. Thermal Lances extended, which means he will be able to reach most of the forces. The problem is now MaxPax's army is kind of split. The Stalkers are on the left, the Colossus on the right, a reinforcing warp, and the Vikings, though, they can take out the Colossus. There's no more splash damage now. Engagement time, I suppose. Stalkers committing first. Charge Zealots, not too sure how to commit up against the Widow Mines. Decide to try to just slowly walk towards the Marine Marauder Ball, which is going to go about as well as it sounds. Okay, the Protoss not going to clean up the forces. Clem is going to take map number 1. Map number 2 in the series shall be Ley Lines here. The Terran feeling good, feeling confident after that map number 1, I suppose, throwing out the GLHF. MaxPax could have said it at the start, in the initial loading, to be fair. I didn't catch that, but nonetheless, finish my sentence. it's Clem. With the portrait, too. Such a good little bear portrait. Very nice. Which means in the opposite corner, of course, we have the hopefully assumptive good luck, have fun from the initial intro. It is MaxPax. Having a bit of a struggle that first round, I will say. They dealt with the initial push quite well. The Phoenix did their job, taking care of things like the siege tanks, the Cyclone, but having a tough time afterwards, just a lack of splash damage. It kind of worked against MaxPax because the Phoenix opener prompted Clem to make a few Vikings, which then you went into Colossus. Like, that's not too good at the good old mathematics there, but I don't think those numbers quite line up. Vikings deal with both of those reasonably well, especially with the other support. Well, he's gonna see the proxy racks now. Clem deciding to open up with a rather aggressive play. Got a proxy barracks, a barracks where it does not quite belong, and gonna use the pylon to keep the SCV safe. No. Clem. Oh, probe no longer cares. It knows the Reaper's coming out. The bunker should be able to complete the pylon. I love it. I'm not 100%. I think it can reach. I think it can reach the Nexus. Goes for the probe. Oh, God. The SCV is quite low, which means this probably isn't going to get too terribly far. The Stalker should be able to pick off the SCV, I think, reasonably well. And the Reaper's hitting the pylon or the Nexus, one of the two. It wasn't hitting the Stalker right away. Maybe it was going for the battery. The battery's got a few less shields, it looks like. Oh, battery completes. Reapers jump out, jump up, and jump forward all at the same time. The probes. No. There's no need for this kind of bloodshed, this violence. Okay, you have Stalkers. We don't need to pull the metaphorical probe boys, okay? It's quite fine. The barracks floats, decides to try to head home. Goes across. See how you like it. Yeah. Sends that probe right across the other side. I think it... The depot control. Depot aiding and abetting in the violence. Stalkers head across here. Yeah. No blink. Makes that a bit tough to deal with. Well, the command center is definitely going to be delayed at the very least, which is going to be a good thing, I would say, for MaxPax, for the Protoss, the CVs. The Widowmine will be picked off, but helps out doing a bit of blocking. Reaper actually going to clean up the Stalker, quickly dealt with by the Adept, though. God, this command center just cannot be constructed. Clem. They're trading off. Do they repair each other? No, but they're hugging the Widowmine to try to stay safe. A landed Viking. Don't know who had that on the bingo card for dealing with this, but apparently you win. Here you go. Congratulations. Landed Viking is going to be the choice to deal with the double Adept shenanigans. The barracks finally makes its way home, safe and sound. Thank you, Stalkers, for being focused on getting destroyed by the Widowmine instead of picking apart the barracks. Viking helping out. It's like a Marine, but somehow stronger and taller, slightly. But don't tell the Marine, because they might get a little self-conscious. The Cyclone takes out a Stalker, but might pay the price. Nope, Clem's gonna repair it. Cyclone will stay alive. Much more textbook, normal opener I see coming out of the Protoss' side of the map. We've got Blink as the starting tech choice. Prism to follow up. The unfortunate piece is this. MaxPax has lost quite a few Stalkers from the initial opening sequence of the game here. And this type of timing, if you actually want to get a bit of damage done, which this build is intended to do, it's intended to apply a bit of pressure. You send the Prism across, you have a few Stalkers, you call it 10 roughly, a good 10 to 12 Stalkers usually. You can warp in, blink up into the high ground, pick off maybe an add-on or two. A siege tank would be a really nice pickup, but you're just looking for a little bit of damage, a little opportunity. MaxPax is now going to have to make this work with only 8 Stalkers because of the loss of the 3. Solid Blink and Prism Micro here. Raven to help out. Auto Turret will buy some much needed time. Every second that MaxPax is not attacking one of the potential avenues here, Clem gets a few more units out. Siege tank setup in the main base will help out with the defense, but MaxPax seems a little focused on the natural. Breaking the bunker would be a nice boon. This is honestly very close to a Brood War TVP, where the Protoss would be applying pressure with some Dragoons. Siege tank, the focus, does get it picked off. Trying to micro back now. The Prism helping to keep some things alive. The auto turret gets thrown down yet again. The Marines and the Vikings working together. A lot of the Stalkers injured. Not a lot of them are picked off though. Only losing a couple more. To get an observer too, that's always nice to get. Deny a little bit of that peeping vision for the Protoss, I suppose. Rotating around now MaxPax. Still looking for some opportunities, still looking for some avenues. Getting the siege tank in the main base was helpful. Clem has to then dedicate the next siege tank essentially to the same spot, so certainly, at the very least, it's less in some type of attack. Oh, siege tank. The Stalkers may have been able to do a little bit up here, but not wanting to push, not wanting to press the envelope, maybe. I can understand it. Clem's research and upgrades are starting to come online. Stim is about to complete for the, actually, respectable amount of 19 Marines. Severe lack of medevacs, though we probably don't want to be pushing that Stim button just quite yet. Vikings now take up a position to deny potential Warp Prism harassment. On the other side, what's the production like for our Protoss? We've got, I saw a Robo Bay, which means Colossus will be the choice. I do like the choice, especially in this type of a little more normal situation. Clem has not gone into heavy Vikings yet, instead going for a lot more Marines. We have medevac support. Clem is perhaps waiting to push the Stim button. Oh, the Prism's picked off. I did barely even notice it. The Vikings pick off the Warp Prism on the right side there. That's going to cause an opportunity here. Clem no longer has to worry about a backstab attack via Prism. That's a lot of Zealots, though. Force fields start to go out. Siege tank setting up a bit late. Not quite ready there. That's a lot of Zealots to deal with. We're at nearly 1-to-1 Zealot to Marine, plus all of the other stuff. Zealots also just a little bit of an attack on the other side. Widowmines burrow and unburrow. No friendly fire, no splash damage to be had. Clem backpedaling a bit, pulling the forces back without the siege tanks. I agree. Like I said in map number 1, there's no anchor now. There's no point to really sit down and have a picnic, you know, feel good, feel comfortable kind of thing. First of the Colossi joins here. We have a second one just produced. Thermal Lance still a little bit off, though. There are a couple Vikings, but that's just it. There's only a couple Vikings for right now. Clem's trying to squeeze out a few more, but not quite able to ready those longboats just in time. MaxPax might have a little bit of an opportunity here. Where's our observer? There's no observer, which means the mines can only be detected after they fire. Decent chunk of Marauders and a solid arc from the Terran Guardian shield goes out to Colossi. Thermal Lances have been extended, which is going to be always, you know, a boon. Always something to be excited about, I suppose. Is this the only observer? This is the only observer. Don't know how much I like that. Like, at what point do we just add on a second robo? I feel like there is a point in time where we start to add on more robos. I would like that time to be. The best time was 2 minutes ago. Okay, the second best time is now. It's just like planting a tree, if you will. A little different, I'd say. Robos and trees, not quite the same. Don't focus on it. We're moving past it. The SCV's having unsafe work conditions. trouble abound. Zealots having their way with the place. Clem has to pull some forces back. I don't think we had to pull these forces back, but they had to pull back for a different reason. Zealots and Stalkers causing a bit of problems. Bit of fear incited there. The Zealots still causing some damage. The Vikings staring angrily at them from above. Dark Shrine on the way. I think we've already made it past the time we had in map number 1, which means we got ourselves a fair bit of a mid, possibly late game here. Colossi sitting at a comfy count of 3. Why Dark Shrine instead of Templar Archives? This is the thought I'm having right now. 2? We don't need 2. Oh my god. Please let that complete. That is such thumbnail material right there. I'm keeping an eye on that one. Alright, we're going to check in with the double Dark Shrine drama. Yes, later on. Colossus, now, well, just 1. So, yeah, Colossus, I suppose. We'll have to pull back. Clem's got all of his forces kept quite neat and tidy, all in one large ball, one lump sum. The Viking count has risen to a respectable 6, also increasing. Dark Shrine completes in the main base. The second one was cancelled, though. How could you, MaxPax? Good grief, denying me my thumbnail material. God, I'm so offended. I'm hurt. Personally attacked. Zealots causing a bit of havoc. Command center, well, that's actually just a lot of Zealots, so not a whole lot's going to happen from that. Clem's Ghost Academy completed. Schooling in progress. Uh-oh. The right side group here gets caught. The Colossus will be picked off. Both of them shredded. At the cost of 18 SCVs, though, the Zealot army on the left side getting a lot of damage done. It's mostly just Zealots, too. I mean, Marine Marauder Ghost can deal with it reasonably well. The problem is they take a bit of damage from them, too. I saw that the first of the DTs hitting the map here, yeah. And MaxPax going for DT Blink with this too tells me it's not Archons. My first thought was, okay, you want Archons, but not Storm, I guess. Clem's been able to stay alive for the most part. Lost a fair amount of SCVs, having a bit of a tough time with the money side of things, but still alive. Army count rising. They're both just, it feels like, trying to both get to max supply while also seeing what they can throw away during the mid-game. Oh, a bit of a clash here. Solid EMP goes out up against the Zealots. Shields will be removed. Colossus will be destroyed. This is now showing no splash damage options. But we don't. Who needs splash damage when we can have a DT in the base instead? Turret up at the 3rd. We'll keep that one safe. Oh. Causing problems. Oh, a solid EMP detects the ghost. 10 SCVs have fallen so far. MaxPax actually getting a fair amount of damage done and gets, well, he got out of the scan, but I don't think he also gets out of life. Yes. That's the ending. There we go. That's the end of that sentence. Marine Marauder pack still staying strong. Staying alive, if you will. Yes. Disruptors, now the choice. Splash damage option number 2. Stray Colossus, not too sure about this one. Now, at this point, we've got 7 Vikings on the field. They help deal with the ghost reasonably well, I will say. Solid arc from the Terran coming out. Vikings dealing with the Colossus. Bioforce is dealing with pretty much everything else. Clem looking to be in a really strong position, heading over to the Protoss side of the map now. Zealot Dark Templar run-by has something to say about that, though. See, Clem, he's gunning for it. He's pushing. We don't even care about the Nexus. We want that production. Get rid of those robos. Nobotics Bay, if you will. The Disruptor shot. Denied. Cancelled. We'll find no opportunity here. Zealots will have a bit better luck. Oh, a decent connection. Surprise shot from the south there. Clem's going to try to pick up most of the forces, head up into the main base. A recall goes out to boot. Probes and zealots. Quick, send the probes in, too. Clem's going to pick it up. Gets a fair amount of damage. Destroys, absolutely obliterates this third base location. Got rid of a little bit of production, a little bit of nexus. Quite a few zealots as well. But losing more SCVs on the other side. The Widow Mines, I don't feel were entirely necessary there, but did manage to find some damage. Got a few things done. Gary.
Never say die.
You never say die. Okay. And that's all of our story. Very short book for Gary, I suppose. Okay. Medevacs, no longer holding position. Gonna drop in the main base here. One of the medevacs having a little bit of a tough time finding that unload button. Disruptor shot takes out one Widow Mine. The force in the main base actually doing reasonably well. It's still alive, still kicking. The Robo base picked off. The disruptor production will cease now. No more Colossi, no more disruptors. It's down to the 4 that we have on the map here. Looks like they're all up here in the Terran's base as well. Stalkers seem to be picking off most of the medevacs. A GG gets thrown out. Clem is the one who can no longer hold. Not finding too much damage in the main base. Forces will be deflected. MaxPax gets a point on the board, which means we have a series. Map number 3 in the series shall be El Dorado. The score tied up 1-1, but still plenty of carnage to be had. It is a best-of-5 after all, which means the winner here is not the winner of the series. Nope, they have to get to a total of 3 before we can call it. The Protoss, occupying the bottom left corner, shall be, of course, MaxPax. Which means, over on the other side with a broken portrait. Oh no, we don't get Clem's bear for this one. What does that tell? What kind of omen do we have now for going into map number 3? Uh-oh. Oh, also, intriguing omen. The probe shall be denied its entry. And doth protest greatly. Yes, starting to do a bit of damage to the supply depot. The Reaper would have shut that down rather handily, but MaxPax, not wanting to lose the probe perhaps, will just send it back home. Reaper, I'm curious, where does it go? Does it try to follow the probe? Does it just go for the base? MaxPax doing a bit of a loop around with the probe. I quite like seeing that on the minimap, going over here, then back up to the top of the ramp. Are you doing something? Oh my. Do tell. Yes. Reaper heads across to the natural base. Oh, to the natural pylon at least. Sees this. Says, come out and fight me, Protoss. Yeah. And that is a proxy gateway, which means MaxPax is wanting to get a bit aggressive, it would seem, for this one. Okay, what kind of play is it going to be? Is it going to be a lot of stalkers? Is it going to be glaives? We don't know yet. Have to see. So far, it's just a lot of gates, which, I mean, you'll have warp gates, sure, but usually you want to see something paired with this, like a Twilight Council or a Robo. Even Proxy Immortal is a thing. I wouldn't quite highly recommend it to individuals who normally watch the channel, but it is a thing. It does exist. Good. Twilight. Twilight is a good choice. Let's go with that. Now we just have to kind of wait and see what is the choice from said Twilight. We still got a couple minutes, of course, before anything really comes to bear from this. Clem opening up, very safe, tried and true, 1-1-1. The command center was built in the main base too, which feels slightly excessive as far as safety, but up against a Protoss, you can never really be too safe, right, Terrans? Uh-oh. Reaper's sniffing around. Reaper's hunting. Oh, Clem, I think, saw those forces. Didn't start to pull things back, though, until just now. I think saw the red dot and maybe thought it was something just like a scouting adept or a probe, perhaps. Marines will be caught now. Well, Clem's going to have a bit of a surround now, though. The adept picked off. One of the stalkers lost as well, and this is taking a lot of wind out of one hit point. The siege tank sets up. Unsets up. Sets down. Packs up. English, good grief. The opposite of set up is like take down. Weird. Absolutely absurdities. I feel bad for people that didn't have English as their first language, had to learn it, because stuff is just bananas, okay? Complete, utter bonkers. Absolutely. Stalkers heading back home. Looks like the choice was going to be Blink, but things are not looking too great, I would say, for MaxPax at this point in time. The investment not paying off in an aggressive sense. Medevac, debating. Clem doesn't want to just throw it away, though. 6 Marines. Not interested in that. Mech forces will deal with that adept handily. Clem saw the stalkers at home, I would wager, and was like, oh, you're not actually defending this right now? Okay, let's get rid of this. Takes out the proxy gate, the stalkers. Really, all 4 of you coming out to deal with this? One of you's like already 10 feet in the grave, okay? This isn't gonna go well. This is barely a scouting venture. Do not do this. I don't think you have Blink yet. No, Blink's not even done. What is this? Clem gets an awesome surround and arc on the Protoss forces. The stalkers are just bleeding left and right. This is a disaster. At this point, it would not surprise me if MaxPax just taps out, because this is going quite poorly so far. Stalkers, Blink is completed now. MaxPax might be able to start to micro their way out of this, but it is not pretty. What was that? What was that blink? Are you kidding me? I gotta see that again, really? You have been bleeding stalkers left and right for 6 minutes. So you just blink them into the grinder. MaxPax just likes to go out with a dramatic flair, I suppose. Clem is gonna take map number 3. The next map in the series shall be King's Cove here. Looking at the upper left corner, starting off with the Terran up at match point. If they take this one, the day belongs to them. It is Clem. Thank gosh the portrait's working fine. And in the opposite corner, having a bit of a tough time. Been a bit of a potential blunder there. In the last one, see if they can scrap it together. It is MaxPax. I believe in them. I think they can do it. I've seen MaxPax pull off some good stuff. Definitely respectable, commendable, admirable. Some other type of able, maybe. And throw in your favorite other able, I suppose. Your choice, the Ubble buffet, yes, indeed. Alright, as with all previous TVPs, things start off somewhat normally, dreadfully. The probe heads across the other side, starts to pick off some of the SCVs, do a bit of damage, make itself known. A bit of a dominance move, really more than anything else. Probes and SCVs, a battle as old as time itself, yes. Clem, now wanting to take this command center, probe recognizes this, of course, in its natural habitat. You find the probe is a being of pure annoyance and rudeness, yes. It feeds off of the misery, the hate that it generates. The more that you dislike the probe, the stronger it gets. And this is how it has terrorized the Terran armies for so many years now. So long, the probe has remained dominant. Even back in the Brood War days, I would wager. Time before time, yes. The probe always had a bit of an edge over said armies of Earth and Core Hall and whatnot. But there are ways to fight back, my fair Terran friends. Reaper, what would probably be one normal way, but not this case. Clem recognizing that Adept is not the same Adept from the high ground. No, we'll start to head back into the main base, and the second Adept will pop out now. Decent grenade. Buy him a little bit of time, I suppose. Certainly enough time to heal back up. Adept now in the middle of the map, starting to head across. Twilight Council is the choice yet again. However, this time, sans proxy shenanigans, which I think is a all-around better move. That did not work well. I do not believe that the shade. I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's just a little surprising. The Marines, they won't be able to deal with the Adept that quickly. Hellion heads out to try to catch it maybe, but not going to find it. I'm also reasonably convinced the Hellion might still lose that battle. Probably doesn't want to engage the Adept in a one-on-one. Oh. How many hits is it? I think it's 4. I think the Adept kills the Hellion in 4. The Reaper, the first to go down, though. Jeez, the Hellion with 2 health. Run for your life. Drive speed, my friend. There is no speed limit when you're this close to death, I suppose. The Adepts, feeling good. Feeling confident. This one probably a little less so. She's tired. She's weary. Okay, it's been a long day. Not having too much fun, but still, as with Adepts do, they're still here, still kicking. Oh god, they're both picked off. MaxPax losing that scouting potential. No opportunity. It's going to come down now to the Stalkers. The next wave, the next tower defense play shall be, we saw from previous match, the Blink Warp Prism combo here. And this time, I will say MaxPax has not been throwing away Stalkers at this point. So we'll get to kind of see what that would look like in a more normal setting, normal sense for MaxPax. The Prism going to head out with a few Stalkers. Blink now finishing up. Would have liked to see one more warp in, I think, for them to head across then before, it's all really on the Prism. Hellion gets one of the probes. MaxPax reveals the Blink, though. Picks off that Hellion. I say reveals the Blink, like Clem didn't expect there to be Blink. Oh. Okay, that's why we kept it at 4. MaxPax not wanting... Okay, now we are. But I was going to say, the initial group only being 4. And not really going to get a whole lot done just by themselves, but it's enough that the Prism can pick them up and keep them safe. Add-on, the first to pay the price for living and existing. Here, Siege Tank moves ever so slightly. Repairs. The add-on will be kept safe for now. Marines starting to try to repel this. We need that Siege Tank just a little bit closer. Oh, God, it is hurting. Siege Tank moves just a little bit closer. Should be in range to deal with the Stalkers that are down here. MaxPax recognizes this. The add-on will be saved. Combat shield research can continue. Can you imagine the poor scientist in here? Okay, he's trying, he's testing. He's got the shields out on his desk, like one made of styrofoam, one made of paper mache, the other one made of metal. He's trying to figure out which one's actually any semblance of helpful. But meanwhile, his building is being shot at. He's hearing Siege Tank fire from behind him, Stalker particle disruptors picking apart. There's holes in the side of the wall now. We really need to just think of people, other than Marines in this game. We have to think of the workers, we think of the scientists, the researchers. We need more thought, prayers, helpfulness all around, really. Consider your support forces, guys. Keep your add-ons safe. That's what I'm trying to say here. You don't got to build them all the way over here where they're going to get shot at. We could build them over here, Look at that. Much safer. Much better real estate. The bunker, both abandoned and shot at, is going to probably be salvaged, I would guess, shortly. Clem feeling a little confident, though, moving out on the map now. Forces gathering, a storm is brewing. Stalkers now. It's MaxPax's job to try to delay this. This is the power of the blink move, though. And do we have any Colossi? I don't think so. No, we have the Robo Bay, but the choice first was an Immortal. Colossus will be the follow-up. Stalkers having a bit of a tough time, bleeding off quite a few, actually. Looks like 3 went down in just that little engagement. Prism. Landing zone obstructed. Sorry, I use Abathur for all of my factions because how can you not? Abathur's got a great voice, and that's what he says for Terrans. So, I mean, that's what played in my mind. You're welcome. That's what I'm trying to say. Enjoy. Siege tanks still set up in the middle of the map. MaxPax rather successful at delaying this for a moment. Oh, almost picks off one of the Widow Mines. The first of the Colossi joins the fray. No follow-up just yet. MaxPax, God, he's going for a reinforcing warp and charge Zealots, which actually is a pretty solid choice. Now the issue's going to be the Widow Mines, I think. Oh, make that Widow Mine. Siege tanks set up. We'll be able to keep most of the forces safe. 2 probes have been picked off. We're losing probes too. Auto turret Raven shenanigans. Was the Raven killed off? No. No, he's down here. He's way down here. Alright. Panicked. Zealots. Oh, that was the force field of Sass goes out. I don't think quite ready to do that. Oh god, cancel the base. Alright, cancels the base. A few Zealots getting a little bit of damage over on the other side. An Observer doing its observery goodness. Zealots from behind to pick off one of the siege tanks. That's a fantastic move, but will it be enough to save him? The Colossi, we've got the count up to 2 now. Trying to get a 3rd out as well. Thermal Lance is done. That is good. That is helpful. Clem recognizing this and says, you know, I've lost one of my siege tanks. The Colossus count is growing. I canceled this base. I'm gonna say that's pretty good, actually. Only thing I think I would have tried to do is maybe move the Widow Mine closer to where the expansion would have gone. The burrow, unburrow, micro. Quite good. Alright, group of Zealots contingent over here on the far right, perhaps just waiting for the next opportunity. Clem's forces did retreat, pulled back to the 3rd base location. Siege tank, not quite set up, but equally ready to help out. Command center on the way. Looking at potentially another mid-game situation here, dare I say. These two not picking each other apart in 6 minutes for every match. Siege tanks setting up again. We have Ghosts on the way. Vikings, even ship weapon upgrades. Get out of here, Sub-Zero. We're all Scorpion fans, I suppose. Get out. No way. Be gone. Foul creature. Thank you very much, I suppose. Oh, Raven getting a bit more damage. Well, targeting the battery. The math on that, it works out perfectly. The auto turrets pick off the battery right as they go down. Okay, RIP battery. Thought you were doing good by giving that, you know, some sort of buff back in the day. Nope, no more. Marauder count at a scary 19, which means the Stalkers are not going to get a whole lot done, I would wager. Oh god, really not getting anything done. The Blender concussive shells aiding substantially. Prism. Scouted by the factory. That's a very normal sentence. The sensor towers. Why did we build 3 sensor towers? What? Why did we have 3 sensor towers here? Really sensed that one coming, didn't you, Clem? Okay. Well, the forces, the Zealots actually managed... They managed to pick off one of the reactors. Clem just lets it burn. Says, well, From the ashes shall arise a new reactor. Better, stronger, even more reactor. It'll be twice the reactoring, yes. Stalkers find the army in the middle of the map and quickly turn tail, run for the metaphorical Protoss hills that we also call Colossi. Yes. Disruptors also out and about. We'll see what kind of connections MaxPax is able to get. Somehow, it's suddenly 5 disruptors. I haven't been keeping an eye on the production tab, to be fair. Dark Shrine also the choice. Clem, though, setting up, itching for a fight. Army supply is in the Terran's advantage. The Colossi caught a little bit out at the front here. There's a lot of tech-heavy splash damage. We've got Colossi, we've got Disruptors, but we just don't have a whole lot else. There's not really enough to protect them, it feels. If the Disruptor shots are not staggered or are not successful, then this is going to go rather roughly, I think. A decent clip, gets a few Marauders for that one, but losing the Disruptor, the Vikings move forward, start to pick off the Colossi. They will be mostly successful, yes, fully successful. All 3 Colossi picked off, which means it is now going to be really on just the Disruptors. There's still a siege tank down here with 3 kills. Decent chunk of damage. Bioforces will not be caught by the Disruptor shots. The Venn dia scan, yes, for double the vision. Everything's really detected right in that little gap. Decent splits, getting only 1 goes. Couple Marines, MaxPax staggering the shots well enough. Next one will be denied. Multiple Disruptors killed off. Stalkers trying to hold the high ground. A reinforcement of Zealots. Will it be enough to save the day? There's still 3 Disruptors. But Clem, frankly, I'm liking the position. If Clem could not do that, if Clem cannot do that, that would be good. That would be great, even. Liberators here to help out. I agree with the choice. There's not really a whole lot of anti-air. It's mostly the Stalkers, which are having a bit of a tough time of their own. The Disruptor shots are actually doing pretty well, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. The Vikings land on deck, focus, fire the Disruptors, and that is going to be it. All they wrote. Clem takes the map, takes the series 3-1. Well done. Well-earned victory with Terran music in the background, too. I can't ask for a much better ending than that one. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.